Pooh Sheisty, one of the hottest rappers out of Memphis in the last 5 years, is reportedly in critical condition after getting jumped by Crips inside a federal prison. And this ain't just some random fight. This is about loyalty, street politics, and what really happens when a famous rapper thinks his name will protect him behind those walls. Spoiler, it doesn't. By the time this video is done, you'll know exactly what happened to Pooh Sheisty, why it went down, and why this is one of the most disturbing stories to come out of the rap world in years. But first, let me set the scene for those who don't know who Pooh Sheisty really is. Real name Lantrell Donnell Williams Jr. Born November 8, 2000, out of Memphis, Tennessee. This man was just 20 years old when he went platinum. He signed with Gucci Mane's 1017 Records, dropped his debut mixtape Shiesty Season in January 2021, and it debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, a free project, not even an album. Then came Back in Blood with Lil Durk, certified platinum multiple times. The boy was untouchable. Then it all collapsed. October 2021, Pooh Sheisty pleaded guilty to federal conspiracy to commit robbery stemming from a 2020 incident at a hotel in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, where an associate shot one of the victims. The feds got involved, and you already know what that means. August 2022, he was sentenced to 5 years and 3 months federal time, 85% minimum, no early release. Sent to a low-security facility. Seemed manageable. It was not. Because what happened next will genuinely disturb you. Here's what people don't understand. Pooh Sheisty being famous didn't protect him. It made him a target. In federal prison, your platinum records mean nothing. What matters is where you're from, what set you claim, and whether you'll hold your ground when things turn physical. Street politics don't pause for anybody. Being a celebrity doesn't get you a pass, it puts a price on your head, because now you're a trophy, someone other people can make a name off of. And that is one of the most dangerous positions you can be in behind those walls. Now let's talk about what actually happened, because there's been a lot of misinformation, and I want to get this right. According to multiple sources, Pooh Sheisty wasn't involved in some random yard scuffle. This was a coordinated jump, multiple people affiliated with the Crips attacking him at once. And the injury that went viral? Pooh Sheisty had a tooth knocked completely out. Let that sink in. You don't lose a tooth from a light hit. That is, severe blunt force trauma to the face. That means he was getting hit hard from multiple angles while outnumbered. The reports of critical condition suggest the damage went well beyond just that tooth. This was serious enough that people were genuinely worried about whether this man was going to be okay. Now, to understand why the Crips specifically targeted Pooh Sheisty, you need to understand prison gang politics. Pooh Sheisty is from Memphis, a city with its own distinct street culture, separate from LA or Chicago. But when Memphis artists blow up nationally, they get associated with certain affiliations, whether they claim them openly or not. Pooh Sheisty has been publicly linked to blood-affiliated circles through artists and people in his crew, and that association followed him straight into federal prison. Federal prison is a completely different ecosystem. Pooh Sheisty might be from Memphis, but inside that facility he's locked up with people from Compton, South Central, Chicago, New York, and every single one of them brought their affiliations with them. So when a blood-affiliated artist walks into a facility with a heavy Crip population, that conflict isn't random. It isn't senseless. In the world of prison gang politics, it is almost inevitable. The streets don't stay outside when those doors close. Now here's the question everybody keeps asking: why doesn't Pooh Sheisty just go into PC? For those who don't know, PC means protective custody, a separate unit where at-risk inmates get separated from general population. Sounds like the obvious move, right? But here's where it gets deep. In prison culture, requesting PC is one of the most socially damaging things you can do. It's seen as weakness. It means you couldn't handle yourself. And that label doesn't stay inside, it follows you back to the streets. People will say you checked in. For Pooh Sheisty, whose entire brand is built on being authentic, being solid, being the real deal, going into PC would contradict everything his music stands for. So he's trapped in an impossible position: ask for protection and destroy his credibility, or stay in Gen Pop and risk serious physical harm every single day. That is genuinely one of the most heartbreaking dilemmas you can be in. And on top of all that, people still have this Hollywood fantasy about what prison looks like for a celebrity. Let me kill that idea right now. Pooh Sheisty has no private cell, no special treatment, no upgraded accommodations because he has platinum records. In a low-security federal facility, there's no private cell, no better food, no nicer bunk. It's dormitory-style open bays, zero privacy, packed in close quarters with people from every background and every affiliation across the country. Now, some people think, at least his music buys him respect, right? And yeah, name recognition opens some doors, but it also opens others you don't want opened. Because some people don't want to show love. They want to test you. They want to see if the real Pooh Sheisty matches the one on the records. And some just want to take something from you, commissary, clout, whatever they can get. Then there's the money angle. Everyone inside knows Pooh Sheisty has people on the outside who can put money on his books. And that makes him a target for extortion, pay up, or face consequences. Here's the shocking part being, rich and famous in federal prison doesn't make you safer. It makes you more dangerous to be. Now let's talk about something people completely overlook: the mental toll. Pooh Sheisty went from performing at festivals, recording in studios, living at the top, to being locked in a federal facility watching the music world move without him. New artists rising, his peers dropping projects, going on tours, and he's sitting inside with limited phone calls and zero ability to participate. That psychological weight alone is crushing. But on top of that, he's dealing with constant physical danger, knowing that if something pops off in that dorm or yard, guards might not reach him in time. Staff-to-inmate ratios in federal facilities are not good. Violence can escalate in seconds. This stopped being entertainment the moment that man's tooth hit the floor. This is a human being in a genuinely dangerous situation. So what is the Bureau of Prisons actually doing about it? His legal team and family are almost certainly demanding answers. And here's the frustrating reality: the Bureau of Prisons is notoriously secretive. They don't issue press releases when inmates get jumped. They don't hold press conferences about yard attacks. Information leaks out through other inmates, legal communications, and family members piecing things together from limited phone calls. What's supposed to happen after a serious incident? Medical evaluation, documentation, investigation, consequences for the attackers. But here's where the system fails repeatedly, for famous and unknown inmates alike. Even when attacks happen, the institutional response is slow, inadequate, and almost never addresses the root cause. You can investigate all you want, but if the same people are still in the same facility, if the gang politics haven't been touched, if Pooh Sheisty is still in general population, you're just setting the stage for the next attack. And that's the most terrifying part. The question isn't whether something else could happen. The question is when. Now let me address the people saying, he made his choices, this is that life. And look the choices Pooh Sheisty made that landed him in. Federal prison are not up for debate. He pleaded guilty. He owned it. But there is a massive difference between serving time and being jumped by a group of people and left in critical condition with a tooth knocked out. The legal system sentenced him to years, not to that. And beyond Pooh Sheisty specifically, this story exposes what thousands of incarcerated people with no platinum records, no social media following, no one telling their story, are navigating in federal facilities across this country right now. The same gang politics, the same violence, the same system that guarantees conflict instead of rehabilitation. What if I told you Pooh Sheisty's situation isn't the exception, it's the rule? Y'all sit with that for a second. Now here's something else that's been circulating online that nobody's really breaking down properly. Pooh Sheisty, given his 1017 Records connection and Gucci Mane's background, walked into that facility with expectations on him from every direction simultaneously. From one side, the people who respect his music and his image expecting him to stay solid, hold his ground, don't check in, represent properly. From the other side, people who specifically want to test that image because in prison, you don't test someone with words. You test them with action. That means he had a target on his back the moment he walked through those doors, not from one direction, but from multiple directions at once. And that is an almost impossible position for anyone, let alone a man, in his early 20s. And look, Gucci Mane himself did federal time. Even Gucci, with all his reputation and street credibility, went through serious difficulties during his incarceration. It is not a game in there. Now here's the layer nobody's talking about. What does this do to Pooh Sheisty's career? Right now his music is still out. People are still streaming it, still playlisting it. Royalties still coming in. Incarceration has historically built anticipation for artists. The comeback narrative is real. But that only works if he comes home healthy and intact. Every incident like this one makes that more uncertain. And that's not just a career question. That's a human question. Is Pooh Sheisty going to walk out of that facility the same person who walked in, minus a few years? Or is this going to leave physical and psychological marks that follow him long after the sentence ends? Now let's talk about that tooth, because that single detail tells you everything about the nature of this attack. A knocked out tooth doesn't happen in a clean one-on-one. That happens when you're taking shots from multiple angles, when you're being hit while you're down, when you're completely overwhelmed and outnumbered. That kind of injury comes from a sustained, coordinated assault, not a fair fight, not a disagreement that escalated. That is a group of people making a deliberate, calculated decision to attack one person. And when you're outnumbered like that, in a location where staff aren't immediately present, your options are almost zero. You fight back as hard as you can, but the math simply isn't in your favor. And this is exactly why prison reform advocates keep pushing for better monitoring, better staffing, faster intervention, because a coordinated jump doesn't happen in 1 second. People had to plan it. People had to move together. The fact that it reached the point of critical condition and a knocked out tooth means the system had multiple opportunities to prevent this and didn't. Are we seeing the full picture now? Now, here's something critical to understand about how information moves in situations like this. Prisons are closed institutions. Facts are hard to verify. Information leaks out second-hand, third-hand, sometimes distorted or exaggerated for clout. So think critically. But here's what matters. The broad strokes of this story have been consistent across multiple sources. Something serious happened. A violent altercation involving gang-affiliated individuals. Pooh Sheisty suffered real injuries. Those core facts haven't changed. And this story didn't pop up on one random blog and disappear. It spread through outlets with track records of accurate reporting on incarcerated artists. People inside Pooh Sheisty's circle. People in the Memphis rap scene. Their reaction has been real concern, not dismissal. And that concern alone tells you everything. So let me bring it all together. Pooh Sheisty is one of the most naturally gifted rappers to come out of Memphis in a generation. His 2021 run was genuinely special. The mixtape, the features, the commercial success. He had a moment most artists chase their entire careers and never find. Then a combination of choices and circumstances landed him in federal prison at 21 years old. Inside that prison, Pooh Sheisty is navigating one of the most dangerous social ecosystems in America. Gang politics, territorial tensions, the impossible. Choice between safety and reputation, watching his career pause while the world keeps moving. And now on top of all that, a violent coordinated assault that left him in critical condition, injuries serious enough to generate nationwide attention. He won't go to PC because in his world that's checking in. That's the move that ends everything. He's built. So he stays in Gen Pop and takes his chances, which means every single day he's in that facility, he is at risk. The Federal Bureau of Prisons has one basic obligation: protect the people in its custody. Famous or not, platinum records or not, every person behind those walls is entitled to physical safety. When someone ends up in critical condition after a coordinated jump inside a federal facility, that is a systemic failure. Full stop. When you see the full picture, this is genuinely one of the most sobering stories to come out of the rap world in years, and I mean that in a real human way, not a dramatic one. There are fans, people in the culture, people from those same streets, genuinely praying for Pooh Sheisty right now. They want to see him come home healthy. They want to see him back in a studio reminding everyone what he's capable of. Because it's easy to let stories like this become just content, just views, something to talk about for a week and forget. But there's a real person at the center of this. Lantrell Donnell Williams Jr., 20-something years old. Somebody's son. A genuinely talented artist who made real mistakes and is paying for them, but who still deserves to be safe while he serves his time. That's not controversial. That's basic human dignity. And that's the full breakdown, the jump, the tooth, the prison politics, the PC dilemma, the systemic failures, and what it all means for one of Memphis's most talented young artists. Now, if this video opened your eyes to something you didn't fully understand before, hit that like button. Right now, it genuinely keeps this channel alive and lets us keep bringing you stories that actually matter. Drop a comment, are you worried? About Pooh Sheisty? Do you think the Bureau of Prisons needs to be held accountable? I want to hear from you. And if you want more real breakdowns like this, no fluff, no filler, just facts, subscribe, because we are not slowing down. More videos are coming that will hit just as hard. I'll catch you in the next one.